So today I am going to discuss about comparative study between US President and British Prime Minister. Uh, Actually, I should have to make a comparative study between the Constitution of Great Britain and America first, and after that I will have to go through this one. But whatever, maybe in the second video I will discuss about the comparative study between the Constitution of America and England. So whenever you go through the second video first and first video second. Then it will be easier for you to understand, and this is for third semester major students. So whenever we are going to make a comparative study between anything else, then we will have to find out some similarities between the two concepts, and after that only the differences. So here also I try to find out the similarities between the British monarch. Similarities between the British Prime Minister and the American President. First one is both are the head of the democratic government. That means both the countries have democratic system of government and they are the head of the democratic government, not dictatorship. Then both Prime Minister and the President is the real head of the state. Prime Minister is the real head of the state, though the monarch is there, but monarch is actually the nominal head of the state. And in America, the president is both the head of the state as well as the head of the government. So next one is both are elected by the people. The British Prime Minister is elected directly by the people, and American President is elected indirectly by the people, but the source of power is the people. The next one is both are the head of their cabinet. In parliamentary system of government, there is a cabinet and Prime Minister is the head of the cabinet. So automatically in Great Britain, the Prime Minister is the head of the cabinet or the Council of Ministers, and in America also there exists a cabinet. The members of that cabinet are not the members of the parliament. They are appointed by the president, so they are mere advisor of the president, but these advisors are known as the members of the cabinet. So both have their own cabinet, that means their own colleagues to help them to run the administration of the country. Then legislature of both the country enjoy the power to remove them from the office. That means in Great Britain they have parliamentary form of government, and in a parliamentary form of government generally the executive, that is the Prime Minister, is responsible to the lower house, that means the House of Commons. And if the House of Commons passed no confidence motion against the Prime Minister, then he along with his team will have to resign earlier from the post. And so far as President is concerned, though he is not directly responsible to the American legislature, that means the American Congress, but the Congress can also pass impeachment motion against the President and may remove him from office earlier. So next similarity is that both are influential leaders of their party. American President is also an influential leader of his own political party, and Prime Minister is also the most important leader of his political party. So these are some of the similarities you may try to remember for your examination. Then differences. President is both the head of the state and head of the government because they have no monarchical or republican form of government. They have presidential form of government. So president is not only the head of the state, he is also the head of the state and head of the government. That means he enjoyed the real powers as well as ceremonial powers. But the Prime Minister is only the head of the government. That means in England the ceremonial powers are enjoyed by the monarch, that is king or queen. Next one is Prime Minister is the member of the House of Commons. Without becoming the member of the House of Commons, it is not possible for a person to become the Prime Minister in England. But in America, the President is not the members of the Congress. He is not the member of either House of the Congress. Then Prime Minister is responsible to the House of Commons. It is a characteristics of parliamentary government that the executive, that is the Prime Minister and his cabinet, is responsible to the lower house of parliament, and in the same way the British Prime Minister is responsible to the House of Commons. But as in America they have presidential form of government and theory of separation of power, so the president is not responsible directly to the US Congress. So what is US Congress? US Congress is the legislature of America. Okay, then president does president executive power or president's executive power. Next one is American president's executive power. He is the head of the state, he is the head of the government, all are correct, but president's executive power to certain extent share with the Senate, certain extent share with Senate. So what is Senate? Senate is the upper house of American legislature. So certain direct administrative or executive powers are given to the Senate by the American constitution makers. So some of the executive powers of the American president are shared with the Senate, but the Prime Minister of England, he or she is all in all so far as executive function is concerned. Here the question of sharing of executive power is not arises. So next one is Prime Minister can be removed from office by passing a vote of no confidence by the Parliament. When the Parliament pass a vote of no confidence against the Prime Minister of England, then whole body of the ministers, they will have to resign. That means whole cabinet will resign if the Prime Minister tender his resignation. But in case of America, if impeachment motion passed against the president, he himself only have to resign from his post. There is no question of team or resigning of team, etc. Then Prime Minister participates in the debate and discussion of the Parliament. So in America, in England, they have parliamentary form of government, and in parliamentary form of government, what happened? A close relation exists between the executive and the legislature, and that is why British Prime Minister always participates in the session of the House of Commons or session of the Parliament, and he also participates in the debate and discussion of the House. But in America, they have presidential form of government and separation of power. So president has no right to participate in the debate and discussion and session of the US Congress. He cannot participate. But you remember one thing, that when any bill is passed by the American Congress, then the signature of the president is necessary for making that bill an act or law of the land. So that is necessary. President's signature is necessary, but he never participate, or he has no power to participate in the functions of the American Congress. Okay, so and lastly we can say that apparently it seems that American president is much more powerful than that of the British Prime Minister, because the ceremonial functions are not enjoyed by the British Prime Minister, and American president is both the head of the state and head of the government, etc. But the actual fact is that whatever powers the Prime Minister share with the King, that is very nominal power. Actually, so long the Prime Minister party enjoy majority support in the House of Commons, Prime Minister post is also very influential and very powerful, like that of the American president. Okay, and along with that, the Prime Minister of England, he or she is assisted by his Council of Ministers. Okay, the president is also assisted by his own team, but they are not the members of the Congress. So the position of the Cabinet Minister of America and position of the Cabinet Minister of England are totally different. So these are in nutshell you can remember about the comparative study between the two head of the state. One is Prime Minister and another one is the President. So thank you. So in my next video I will discuss about the comparative study between the two constitutions, and then it will be easier for you to understand this one. Thank you.